Friends, the news of the day, not great, but what did you really expect with something like this happening all over the place? I know a lot of you are probably pretty nervous and pretty worried about what's happening, and I guess I've just come to terms with if we can flatten the curve and we can keep things going, maybe when people come down with this virus, the hospitals will be ready to take us in and take care of us as they always do. So if you have anyone in your family who happens to be working in the healthcare industry or doing public safety of any sorts, and frankly any restaurants or anything like that, any area where they're taking care of people, grocery stores, whatnot, please make sure to do an extra thank you to them so that they know that you're thinking about them. As we will not be able to worship in person this week, Lisa and I have had lots of conversations about what the best path forward is. Do we come in on Sunday morning at 9:45 and get ready and try to live stream the entire thing for you? And while I know some of you would say, yeah, that's exactly what you should do, I'm going to take this rare occasion on a Sunday morning not to get up so early. You probably know that I've not gone a lot on Sundays. And every so often when I get a Sunday off, the last thing I want to do is get up early and go to church. So to that end, we will put the service together and we'll record it kind of like a normal service on maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, depending on how long it takes me to figure all of this out. But we'll invite you then to share in worship on Sunday. I'll send it out via email roughly about the same time as church would be, and if you're an early riser, you can watch it then. If you're sleep in, because I don't have to go to church this week, you can watch it at 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Or if you're just so moved by the service, you can watch it over and over again till your heart's content. So I hope you'll enjoy that as well. I'd like to share a psalm with you that I really quite enjoy, especially in these times. So this is from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though the waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city, it shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord. He makes war cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. So today, I guess I want to talk to you a little bit about music. It is a huge piece of my life, which I have a feeling most of you already know. I have a few albums in particular that are kind of my go-tos when I get stressed out, when I guess need to take a little break from the world. Some of you will be very familiar with a couple, and some of these will be completely out in left field for you. Don't feel like you need to ever listen to them. It may not do what it does for me to you. I know that there are some people that I have lived with over the years that do not find some of this at all even relaxing. But one of my go-tos is an album by a group, a band, a group of men called Chanticleer. And some of you, if you've come to the Midweek Connection, have probably heard most of one of the albums that I like. But there's an artist from long, long ago called Palestrina. And Palestrina writes in what's called counterpoint. And counterpoint, the lyrics, the melodies, the tunes just kind of flow back and forth over each other, left and right. And there's one specific album that Chanticleer does, which includes a piece called Missa Brevis, and it's one of my favorites of pretty much all music in the world. And if I'm not into the more spiritual, holy music kind of thing, I'm a big fan of the Cheater album for Greatest Albums Ever, but Bob Marley's Legend. It's one that when I listen to it and feel like the world is collapsing around me, I listen to it, I feel like I'm sitting on a beach with a coconut in my hand and can just smile and say to myself, yep, everything's going to be fine now. I have a lot of music I listen to in the jazz world as well, and I could spend an entire hour telling you about all the wonderful albums that I found. But for my money, if I need to calm myself down and relax a little bit, Miles Davis Kind of Blue is always one of those pieces that gets me. But it's not just that kind of music. I called Lisa Fluke the other day and asked her if she would kind of come and help me out do some of these pieces, and she said of course I would. And so Lisa and I spent a good chunk of time in the sanctuary the day, hence the reason I'm here now, recording some music on the organ to share with you. And so I had a special request for today from her, was to do one of my favorite hymnodies, which is called Finlandia. You'll know the song Be Still My Soul as we've sung it, and you'll probably notice if you really pay attention whenever it gets near my birthday, you're going to sing that piece, either Be Still My Soul or one of the other arrangements, because it's the ultimate for me in church hymns. I know of at least 3 different settings to it with different words to different pieces, and it's so well loved in my life that it was even played at Lori and I's wedding. We made everyone sing hymns. But Finlandia is a piece to me that I can just hear the tune. I don't need to hear the words even. Sometimes I sing them, sometimes I hum, but it sets this moment of stress and struggle and puts it in a bigger perspective. This piece was written around 1900, late 1890s, something like this, by a Finnish composer in Russia, and it was immediately banned, as the story goes. And it has survived through the ages, through a lot of different kinds of censorships, a lot of different ways to get rid of it, and yet it persists. Some of the lyrics in it just make you stop, and stop you in your tracks and make you say, okay, if this has been around through everything else, there's no reason we won't make it through this as well. You'll find that after you listen to this, maybe, if you listen to this, you'll notice that Lisa has put together and played a piece for you to listen to. I've added the lyrics on top, so if you want to sing, belt it out in your office, computer room, on your cell phone, wherever you happen to watch this, you can sing along right with the lyrics and follow along, and hopefully make a joyful noise for the Lord. Now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in faith. We'll see you soon, friends.